Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di and today is Tuesday, March 8th. I'm here with my next week for my March Mystery Madness Disis19 Diaries. So today I actually had to meet with my boss. For some reason he felt the need to see my face as well as my coworker's face, and so he invited us to lunch. It's been a couple years since I've seen his face, but we do talk on the phone as well as email throughout the course of business. So yeah, he was just like, I haven't seen you in 2 years. Let's go out to lunch. So my coworker and I were like, okay. He did take us to a steakhouse, so it was a nice lunch, but I am still not comfortable eating in restaurants, and so I just chatted with them and he ordered me a to-go meal. So I ordered a ribeye sandwich, I think it is, with some fries. So I had about half of it when I got home from that meeting, and then I'm going to have the other half for dinner. So it was really good. We've ordered takeout from that steakhouse a couple of times. It's a new steakhouse. It's in our area. And yeah, so it was really good. It was really nice to see my boss and his wife, and I see my coworker more often than I do my boss, just because when I have to take care of things for clients in the office, she is always there with me because it's a two-part thing. She needs to do some of it and I need to do some of it. And so, yeah. So I do see her more often. I see her about once a month, if not every other month. At the least, it's once a month. Sometimes it's twice a month. But yeah, I've definitely seen her since we stopped going into the office, but I haven't seen my boss since then. But yeah, it was nice. And since I worked kind of late yesterday, I decided to stop working today at a normal time. I normally don't film during the week, just because I do tend to work after hours, and I'm usually beat by then, but yeah. So let me fill you in on what I have been reading lately. So yesterday, I finished Velocity, the third book in the Karen Vale mystery series by Alan Jacobson. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. It just took me too long. I thought I had not read this one for an entire month yet. And when I went to go log it into my Goodreads, it turns out that I had actually been reading it for a month and 5 days. So that is a really long time for me to be reading a book. I normally don't hold on to books that long. I can't even tell you when the last book I read was that took me more than 3 weeks. I will usually finish a book within a week and a half, 2 weeks. That's my normal time frame to read a book. I may take a little longer if there's a lot more pages, like say a 500-page book, but I usually read books that are about 200 to 400 pages, I would say. That's probably my average. So yeah, this one took me an extraordinary amount of time to get through. It is a direct sequel to the previous book in this series, which was Crush, and so it kind of follows the same case, but in this installment, we get one other serial killer case and then an entirely new case on top of the case that's being carried over, or 2 cases that are being carried over from the previous installment. So there's a lot going on. It shouldn't have taken me as long as it did, but I'll get more into my thoughts on it in my wrap-up. But yeah, I was disappointed in this one. It did have a lot going for it, but I just realized that I am not as interested in the series as I was when I was reading book 2 or even book 1. Book 1 is one that really caught my interest. I think if you enjoy the Criminal Minds TV show, you might enjoy this series. Even though this doesn't really follow a group of profilers like that TV show does, it does follow an FBI profiler. So that is what caught my interest to pick up this series. And I did really enjoy the first book, like I said, but now by the third book, I'm kind of just done. So I have decided to go ahead and DNF this series. It's a good thing and a bad thing because I'm kind of interested in some of the things that are coming up in the next installment summaries. Like, I did go through and look to see, but at the same time, when I think back about all of the problems that I had with the main character, Karen Vale, I don't think it's worth it for me to continue reading a character that I'm not really enjoying. So, yeah, like I said, I'll talk more about it when I do my wrap up. But since then, I just finished my read through of the Choose Your Own Adventure book. So this is Choose Your Own Adventure number 24. It says 24 on this cover, but when I went to go and put it onto Goodreads, it says like 100 something. So they must have renumbered them, probably when they reissued, maybe. But yeah, for me, this is number 24. And I did a really fun project with this. I started reading it aloud. I did record myself reading it aloud. I am not a great storyteller by any means, but I thought it might be fun to have you guys follow along with me as I went on this adventure. So whenever I got to a choice point, I put up a poll, and based on the results of that poll, that is the choice that I took. And so we went on our adventure that way. So I had a lot of fun. I will probably be posting that video after you're seeing this diary, maybe. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that. Like I said, I'm not the best storyteller, but I did enjoy where our journey took us based on the poll choices. And I'm thinking about maybe incorporating a read through of one of these books on my channel every month, like one a month. I'm not sure that I want to continue to do the polls because it did take me 4 or 5 days to get this one done, just because of timing and when I record and things like that. Plus, I had to wait a few hours for the polls. I usually gave them about 12 to 16 hours, just so that the most people that I could get to answer a poll would pop in and answer. Side note, my sister-in-law saw the poll and she didn't pop in and answer, so I was a little bit irritated with her. I'm just like, can't you just like press a button? Like, seriously. But anyway, I had a lot of fun seeing where our story was going to go based on the poll results. I didn't have to make any decisions, so that was great too. But yeah, thinking about incorporating some of these on my channel. There aren't a lot of Choose Your Own Adventure like content on YouTube. I did look to see how other people were doing it, and there is like 1 or 2 videos that are like a read through of the entire book. And then there's like a review of the Choose Your Own Adventure series that I saw. But I don't think there was like something the way that I did it. If there is, let me know. But yeah, I do have several of these. So I think going through them on my channel would be fun. Plus, you never know what kind of ending you're going to get. Like, this one has 19 endings. I think other editions or other stories have different amounts of endings. So yeah, and then on each of these there is a map, I guess, of the different endings you could get and where they could go. Like, some of them are really long. I will tell you that the ending we got, or the story we got, ended up being really short. So I think that was great too for my first time at doing something like this. But yeah, I definitely think I want to do at least a couple more on my channel in the future. I'm thinking maybe once a month. And I do like the fact that I'm incorporating the polls to help kind of get some audience participation, but it did take a while. So I need to try to figure out a way to kind of do it more efficiently, whether that be doing a random number generator or just direct messaging one of my friends to see what they would choose or something like that. Or, and this is the least attractive option to me, would be to do a live, just to have people polling in real time. I don't know. I don't enjoy doing lives, and I've never done one solely on my channel. Just because I get a lot of horror stories. I hear a lot of horror stories about trolls and nasty people coming into the comments, and I definitely don't want to deal with that. But I could be open to doing a live, maybe a live video chat in the Discord video chat. So yeah, if you have any ideas on how to do this, let me know. Also, let me know if you think reading through one of these on my channel every month is a good idea and something that you'd like to see. So I just finished that before I jumped on this recording. And then I just picked up last night Killing Floor by Lee Child. This is the first book in the Jack Reacher series. I am doing a read-along or a group read with Storm, or Stormy. Let me know how you like to pronounce your name, Storm or Stormy. I think her name is Stormy on the Discord, but her channel is Storm Reads. But anyway, I am doing a group read with her. So yesterday I ended up working really, really late, and I was the only person in my office working, so I had to cover 2 other desks and be the receptionist and answer the phone and all of that. So it was really stressful for me, and I was just mentally exhausted yesterday. So I ended up only reading the introduction part of this book. I haven't even started chapter 1. But I thought it was interesting that it is the 25th anniversary of the release of this book on St. Patrick's Day. So yeah, I had no idea that this series has been running that long. At least I think it's still running. It might not be. But I had no idea that this series was that old. And I did really enjoy reading about how the author came up with the character and how he came up with the character's name. And he also goes into what he did prior to becoming an author. And so I thought all of that was really interesting. There was a line from one of the later books, I'm not sure how many, where he's talking about the physique of a character, and he says which book it is, but the line was kind of like weird and, I don't know, funny, I guess. I was just like, why would you describe somebody's physique like that? If I can find it. Yes. Okay. So he describes somebody's physique as a condom stuffed with walnuts. So, yeah. I am not quite sure why you would describe somebody that way. But he says it's from the book Tripwire, which, is there a list of books here? Okay, so it's the 3rd book. But yeah, I'm a little weirded out by that. So I'm not quite sure what to expect in this book now after reading that he's described somebody in that way. But in any case, I am interested to finally dive into this book tonight and get at least a couple chapters in. This book is going to take me a while to read. It is 524 pages, and I do not have an audiobook for this. The wait for the audiobook through my library is 3 months long. Storm did tell me that there is a recording of this audio or of this book done by some other people on YouTube, so I'll probably be checking that out. But I am still listening to Skullduggery Pleasant, which I don't have right now, so I'll put a picture here. And I'm really enjoying that. So that's my lunch break book. And so, yeah, I am finding the girl main character a little annoying. Like, I know that she's like 12, I think. But some of the way that her lines are being presented by the narrator make her sound like a whiny brat. And I don't like that too much. But I am enjoying what's going on and the kind of adventure that they're getting into. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing that on my lunch break tomorrow. Wasn't able to listen to any of that today because I did have to go to lunch with my boss. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I've been up to today. And since I talked to you last, actually. So I will be back with you in a bit to share with you more of the things that I have done throughout this week. And I will talk to you later. Hi everyone, it is Saturday, March 12th, and I am here with the final vloggy check-in for this week. So, to be honest, I haven't really been great at reading this week. I think I mentioned to you in my previous clip that I've kind of been in a funk. I am not really gravitating towards reading. I'm not really gravitating towards doing anything. I'm just not feeling very drawn to the things that I'm reading, I guess. I am still listening to Skullduggery Pleasant by Derek Landy. So this is the first book in the Skullduggery Pleasant series. I tend to listen to this one only during my lunch break from work. And so, yeah, I mean, it's fun. I'm enjoying it. But when I am not working, I'm not really like, oh, I need to know what happens next, if you know what I mean. It's an enjoyable read. It's just not pulling at me. I'm on chapter 22, or I will be on chapter 22, so that's page 278. So I think I'm about 75% of the way done with this one. It's enjoyable. I'm just not gravitating towards it, I guess. Like, yesterday I had off. I don't work on Fridays, and I didn't read anything. I didn't read anything yesterday because I didn't have my lunch break. I wasn't listening to the audiobook. I did work on editing a video and things like that. But yeah, just didn't pick up my book. So I thought I was going to be done with this one yesterday, or at least this week, but it's about 5 o'clock, 10 after 5 in the evening right now, and I'm not wanting to pick it up right now either. So, yeah. I'm just going through one of those phases at the moment. And then I am still reading Killing Floor by Lee Child. This is the first book in the Jack Reacher series. I'm doing this as a group read with Storm at Storm Reads. And I'm doing this as a group read with Elizabeth Tyree. I am not even on chapter 6 yet of this book. I am just finding what's going on at the beginning of this book so ridiculous. Like, I don't understand how the police in this book are so dumb. Like, our main character is basically having to tell them what to do. And I'm not enjoying it. I am waiting to see how our main character is going to get out of the situation he's in. But if it's going to continue like this, where he's basically the one figuring the case out for the cops, I'm going to be kind of upset, to be honest. Yeah, I just find everything that's going on here absurd. I don't know if it's just how it is in maybe smaller towns. I don't even know if we're in a smaller town in this book, because I don't know the state where this book is set, but it's just ridiculous. Like, first they arrest him with basically no evidence, like no hard evidence, just a general description of somebody walking by. And then one of the police, I guess the police chief or the commissioner or something, and then he suddenly, like, 24 hours, maybe? Not even. I think it was the same day. like hours later, hours after he had met our main character, is like, oh, I remember where I saw you. You were the one at the crime scene. Well, what? I'm sorry. If you had any, like good investigational skills, you would have known that right off the bat when you saw this guy. Like, something is really fishy. But it's still, like, acceptable for him to be all like, okay, you were the one at the crime scene, lock him up. Like, without anything. There's, like, nothing but a general description. And I'm just like, how does that happen? I don't understand. So, yes. I am not enjoying this one so far. I mean, I do find the parts where our main character is, like, putting the pieces together interesting, because he's basically the only one putting pieces together for people. He's basically doing the cops' jobs, but now something has happened where, like, he's going to have to be locked up over the weekend because of a technicality, and I don't understand. I don't understand. So, yes. And I think this is why I'm just not interested in reading. I really have to get through that book, though, if I'm going to continue. And it's not that I hate the story. I think, what I'm learning of our main character is interesting, but I'm just not liking what's going on. And for this stuff to be happening at the very beginning of a series, it's not, like, enticing me to read more. I think if stuff like this happened, if he got into this situation later in the series, that would be different. Because I'd already know our main character. We'd have that background, how his mind works and things like that. Oh, we'd have that connection. We'd have that connection to him as a character. And I don't yet have that connection with this character. So it's making it really, really difficult for me. And because this book is so thick, I'm, like, struggling because I want to get it done in a reasonable amount of time, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. And I wanted to make a big chunk into this because next week, I believe it's next week, on the 13th through the 19th, I could have the dates wrong by a little bit, but that is the Europe Aurelium Readathon, which is the week that I want to read all of the things that I need to complete my Aurelium Magical Readathon character creation prompts and the legacy and all of that for. And I should be able to do that because all of the things that I have selected to complete my prompts are short things. So I've got, like, 2 children's books and the rest of it is manga. So it shouldn't take me a while. But I wanted to make headway in this because I'm going to be focusing on other things. And I've been unsuccessful. So, yeah. Maybe, I don't know, maybe stepping away from reading Killing Floor monogamously, kind of, because it really is the only book that I'm reading physically at the moment. I do have another book on the go from February, but I haven't picked that up yet this month, even though I'm really interested in it. But maybe just stepping away and reading some other things will get me motivated to come back to Killing Floor. So at least that's what I'm hoping. So yeah, I'm going to participate in the Aurelium Europe Readathon, or try to anyway, and then I also have jury duty. So I got a jury duty summons for Tuesday, so the 15th. So I got to find out Monday evening whether or not I have to report to the courthouse on the 15th. Let's hope that I don't, because the last time I sat on a jury, it was for a week and a half. That was no fun. And yeah, so we'll see how this coming week goes. But that's pretty much where my reading is and what my reading plans are for next week. And then, as far as my knitting goes, I have not worked on my Namu sweater. There's just something about that one last sleeve that is just not enticing for me. Like, I've only got one sleeve to go, but I don't want to work on it. So I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw that the grocery girls are having an impromptu 3-week love note sweater knit along, which is just like a motivational type of knit along. And the love note sweater, it's a pattern by Tin Can Knits. It has been on my radar to knit for a while. I have had yarn to knit one for a while. I just haven't knit it. And so I thought, well, since I'm kind of in a funk with my knitting, I might as well jump in on this knit along. So that's what I did yesterday instead of reading. So I'm using one of the bags my mom made for me. Like around Christmas time, I think I shared this with you in my Vlogmas videos. So you can see there's a bunch of 80s cartoon characters. And I absolutely love this fabric. So I decided to go ahead and put my new project in this bag because I think seeing the project bag is going to also help with my like mental kind of funk that I'm in right now. So it took me a really, really long time yesterday to gauge swatch. And I just kept trying different needle sizes and not getting the gauge. So I'm taking a stab in the dark. So this particular sweater is meant to have 4 to 12 inches of positive ease, I believe. And the size that I've chosen to make will give me about 7 or 8 inches of positive ease. So I have room to play in case I am really wrong. But the yarn I decided to use, there are 2 different types of yarn. So this is a fingering weight and mohair yarn held together, is what it's being called for. And so I have decided to finally use my skeins of Honey Dukes. So this is Lolo did it Molo, which is her mohair silk blend, and it's dyed in the colorway Honey Dukes. It's a very light aqua with rainbow like variegation in it. And so when I had purchased that, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with it. And in fact, I had another mohair to go along with this fingering weight yarn. But I decided, you know what? That colorway makes me happy. And so I'm just going to go ahead and use that. I didn't want to use that originally for my love note because I think I have too much and I'm going to be left with quite a bit of leftover. But I thought, you know what? That's okay. It makes me happy right now and I'm just going to go with it. So for the fingering weight yarn, I decided to go with my cone. This is a cone of yarn. This is brown sheep wool fingering weight yarn in the color Hurricane Seas. So this is 100% wool, and so I really love that color. It's practically the same color as my Namu sweater, so obviously there's a theme, but it is one of my favorite, or tone of my favorite colors. And so this is all I have. So because it took me so long to swatch yesterday, I didn't get as much done on it as I wanted to. So I literally have like 4 rows. So you can see there's a pink yarn here. This project does call for a provisional cast on because you're going to go back at the end and then take out this cast on and work up towards the neckline. So this is a top-down sweater, and so you can kind of see the variegation in the mohair coming through on the yarn. At first I wasn't too sure if I really liked how it was looking, just because I thought maybe I should have used a lighter fingering weight, but I think the colors might get lost in a lighter background. So yeah, I did make a start on it. I went down to a size 9 eventually. So the pattern calls for a size 10. And I was a little off on my gauge, so I went down to a 9, and my gauge for a 9 was actually the same as my gauge for a 10. So I went down to a 7. And that was way too small. So I went back up to an 8. And my gauge for an 8 was the same as my gauge for a 7. So there is no like needle size between an 8 and a 9, which is where I think I would need to be. So I went back to the 9, and I've decided to knit this English style. So normally for me, English style knitting is a little bit tighter. So I'm hoping that with me knitting this English that I'll be on gauge. I haven't yet measured my gauge. So I am just like crossing my fingers at this point. Once I hit the first 10 rows, because the first instruction in this is to knit 10 rows. Once I hit that point, I'll go ahead and measure my gauge, and hopefully I won't be too bad. I should be as close as I can get anyway, so yeah, so far so good. Just some plain knitting. I am alternating the skeins of mohair because those are hand dyed, and so I don't get any like pooling or anything like that, but so far so good. So those were my 2 skeins of mohair. I do have 1 extra skein, and I think with this pattern, just based on the estimated yardage, that I will need a part of that 3rd skein. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I did yesterday. Today, I filmed, this is my 3rd video. So I am starting a new series on my channel. I filmed a what I've been warming video. So that's pretty much just like a home fragrance wrap up. I really enjoyed home fragrance for most of my adult life, if not all of it. And so I've recently been introduced to WaxTube, which is the place of YouTube where people talk about home fragrance and wax melts and candles and things like that. And I've just been really enjoying that content. And I had always intended for this channel to be everything that I love. So that's why I had my knitting on this channel earlier. But at that time, it wasn't really accepted on YouTube by viewers for people to have channels that had a multitude of the things they enjoy. I think now it's much more open to watching the creators that you like to watch and just getting to know them a little bit better with all of the facets of the things that they enjoy. So I've decided to go ahead and add a new series to my channel and share all of the home fragrance that I have been enjoying weekly. I'm hoping to keep that weekly. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to keep up with that. But right now my thought is that it's going to be weekly. So I did a rundown of every fragrance that I had in my home throughout the week. And so I'm hoping to put that up tomorrow, which is the 13th. But yeah, I thought it might be nice to get in on some of the WaxTube fandom. Because it is stuff that I enjoy. I enjoy home fragrance. I almost every day I have something on, either in a warmer or a candle burning or something, and that's just kind of like a regular part of my life. And it has been practically my entire adult life. It's very rare that I don't have something fragrancing my home. And so, yeah, I think it might be fun to share that on my channel. Plus, I did sign up to become a Scentsy independent consultant, and that's just because I wanted to be my own dealer and not have to worry about asking somebody else to set up a party for me or anything like that and have to push that party. I just wanted to enjoy my own discount. So they were having a sign-up special for like $25 this month, and you got a mini warmer and one of their most popular bars and a whole bunch of testers and things. And so I was like, why not? So I did that. So if you'd like to support my channel or me and would like to purchase some home fragrance, you can do that. I would greatly appreciate it. My link is down in the description box below in case you're interested in checking out some of the stuff that Scentsy has to offer. They do have a licensing agreement with Disney at the moment. And so there's a lot of Disney stuff coming out. On Monday, they're releasing the Turning Red items. So that's the new Disney movie about the girl who turns into a red panda when she gets overly excited. And so there's a Scentsy Buddy and a new fragrance bar, which is like pomegranate and cherry and orange. And it sounds like it's going to smell really awesome. Looking forward to that. And then there's also a pre-order going on for a gorgeous 50th anniversary Cinderella's Castle warmer. And so I did pre-order myself one of those, as well as one for my dad and his wife, because I had decided that that's what I was going to give them for Christmas this year. And so, yeah, if you're interested in those, check those out in my link below. Like I said, it would be greatly appreciated, and you'd be helping to support me and enjoying some great home fragrance. And so that was the first video I filmed. It was much longer than I thought it was going to be because I also included a couple of small hauls that I just recently received. One that just came in today, actually. And then I filmed my monthly manga haul, or my manga haul from last month. So I always do it the month after, just so that I have the entire month of purchases in the video. And so I did that. Then I'm wrapping this up. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I've done today. I will have to do my nails because my nail polish has decided to kick the bucket. It was 2 weeks. This is actual polish, like from a bottle. And it actually held up a lot better than I thought it was going to. So I'm going to put some nail wraps on and have some dinner. And I obviously have to do a lot of editing tonight in order to get that What I Warmed video up on my channel tomorrow. And then, yeah, lots of videos coming up. This will probably go up on Wednesday, the 16th. So let's hope that I get my reading mojo back, and that next week I don't have to go to jury duty, and that having that kind of change in what I'm reading will help to kickstart the rest of the reading that I have for the rest of March Mystery Madness. So I hope you've been enjoying your reads, and that you are doing much better with your reading mojo than I am. But let me know down in the comments below if you enjoy home fragrance and what your favorite fragrances are, what you've been reading this week, if you've had a favorite read from this week, or if you've had any issues with some of the things that you've been reading. I would really love to know. And if nothing else, you would just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me some kind of blue emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out, and that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.